All right, folks, we got Vanderbilt head coach Clark Lea. As always, use the raise hand function. If you have some questions for Coach. Robbie, get us started.
Hi, Clark. From your vantage point, what happened there fell apart there at the end of the first half, and why? What was behind the decision to fake the field goal?
Well, the fake was it was a long fourth down that was right on the kind of the outside of right on the fringe of where our range is, and so with the conditions and taking that into consideration, we had a fake that we wanted to run against them on the left hash, and we had the look we wanted, and so that's what was the reason for that. Unfortunately, it didn't work. We got the ball back to the line of scrimmage, and we in terms of the 2-minute drive, obviously that's going to be about execution. We did a nice job getting them to the last play, and we had the receiver bracket in the end zone. We have to have somebody go up and play the ball, knock it down, and their guy was able to get up and grab it at the highest point, and it was a disappointing swing that ultimately we had the chance in the second half to erase. So don't want to linger too long on it.
Chris?
Yeah, Clark, the rolling Harrison out, the low punch. That I know that you have mentioned having an issue at times with just punt protection. I presume that's the same thing there, particularly when you get one blocked.
Yeah, the block was just a breakdown and execution at one position. I think we've done a decent job of getting punts off, but obviously we have to execute. We have to make our block, and so we had a breakdown there. I was obviously in a situation where that could have been just a backbreaker early, like we've seen. I was proud of the way the team responded. Our defense stepped up and got a big interception there, and then we turn around and flip it to 7 points. And so I think there's growth in that exchange. But look, we're not ever going to be a team that's going to miss on plays like that in the special teams game and think that it's going to be easy to overcome. So I was proud of the way the defense took the field and stepped up. I was proud of the way the offense came back out and scored off the interception. We got to do a better job in the punt protection, and that's all 11 guys just executing their responsibility.
Aria?
When it comes to the running game, especially since you were without your top 2 running backs, what was it that led to so much success with that game plan today?
Well, there was, I thought, good design and I think good adjustment. I thought that at times our O-line was able to win at the point also, which helped our run game between the tackles, because that's a place where we've struggled the last few weeks, and so we were able to get some punctures in our inside zone game. And I thought Mike did a nice job. Early on, it felt like they were packing everything so tight in the box that we needed to do something to loosen them up. That started with Patrick Smith hitting a run on the perimeter where he broke a tackle. And I thought from there, we used the option game and some other things to just to loosen them. And we found some puncture points. I think, obviously Patrick Smith had a nice day, and Mike Wright did as well. And then I thought Jay Ziegler came in and in some critical moments and also ran hard. He set up the shovel touchdown with a nice run where he was able to get to the 4-yard line. And so there are things to build on there for us, for sure. Just wasn't enough to get the outcome that we wanted today. And so, we have to find those extra plays to experience winning again. But I thought the run game was a nice feature today.
And then how long is Rocco going to be out?
We don't expect Rocco to be long term. I don't want to go into specifics, but heading into a bye week, I think we're excited to get everybody recovered and back, and don't expect this to be long term.
Chris, you have another?
Yeah, can you speak to the wrinkles that you added into the offense today? You mentioned the option plays. I think we might have seen that a little bit here and there, but maybe more of it today. And most notably, the shovel passes. 2 of those went for touchdowns. I don't remember seeing those this year. Were these things that you guys have been working on for a while and just put in for this week? Were they things that you saw something in what Missouri did that were plays just for this game? What's going on in terms of philosophy with what you did today in terms of how that might carry forward?
I think there's an element of it where you're dialing into your identity. And so, just like kind of any successful operation is going to be about how quickly you can adapt and adjust and know where your strengths are and know how to optimize those strengths. So, how do we get the tight ends going? How do we get Cam Johnson going? How do we find creative ways to out leverage the defense in the red zone? Your personality shifts with the personality of the quarterback at times too. So we're fighting. We're not gonna just run plays that we don't feel like are going to be effective. We're going to keep dialing into our experience and what we feel like will be effective, and that certainly includes a willingness to be creative and to think outside the box. And so the further we go, the more we know about our personnel, the more we know about our personnel, the more we know how to position them for success. And that's a coach's job. And so fortunately we were able to hit on those, but we'll continue to look for ways to be creative, to maximize our skill and to get the ball in the hands of our playmakers. And that's to me, that's just part of coaching.
Bobby?
Clark, the penalties against Orgy, like on that, where they got the field goal to push it to 2 possession game at 30-21, was that like disconcerting signals, or what was the explanation you got for that? And how do those happen on those third downs?
Yeah, I mean, those are things that are controllable. So like when we look at this game, you're talking about drives extended for penalties. The pass interference, I mean, there are competitive penalties and there are discipline penalties. And so we competitive penalties happen, and I don't want to overreact to those, because again, I want our guys to go play and to let loose. The discipline penalties are the ones that we have to take ownership over. And so I think 3 times today, maybe 4, we jumped on a hard count third down, and at times I think once that gave them a conversion. I think another time it just set them up for convertible third down attempts. And I mean, that's painful. It's painful, and it's within our control. And that's coaches reinforcing that. That's something that has to be constantly talked about on the sideline, constantly talked about in the moment. And I think it's in the moment for the player too. It's dialing into that level of focus that the situation requires for us to have success. And we've talked about this with complementary football, and we talked about it on offense too, but we can't self-sabotage right now. That's not a formula for success for us. So, if we get them in 3rd and 12, we need to force them to play 3rd and 12. When we get them to 3rd and 7, we need to force them to play 3rd and 7. And what we've shown in those situations is we've been able to pressure the quarterback, and we've been able to intercept the football. But when we do things that show a lack of discipline and let them off the hook, that's not going to be conducive to success. As far as the Orgy penalty goes, his movement led to the snap being started, or the ball shifting, and so they called it defensive delay game, because it was less about the infraction and more about like the stomping of his foot. But it's all the same. That's however they want to call it is what it is. It's our discipline and focus in that moment that's required. And that's, again, it's just, as we're scratching and clawing and building this program, and fighting every day to get this thing where it can be, and we know it can be. There's a formula here that when executed is going to allow for us to find the results we want. And part of that formula is recognizing the control that we do have, right? There's so much about performance that's out of our control, but the control that we do have, we have to be impeccable and ownership over that. And being on sides on third down is certainly something that we control.
All right, Chris, last one, please.
Yeah, saw a lot of Miles Capers at times today. I think he had not played a snap on defense yet. What went into that decision?
Well, Miles has been impressive. I mean, he's grown throughout the season on our scout team. He's been, he goes every day against our best, and we've been excited about his progress. And with 4 games left, we felt like he could be, a positive force for us on defense, and so we want to give him a chance to do that. We'll keep looking at him as a way to generate pass rush and look to expand his role. We think he has a bright future here, so we're excited about seeing how we can use him here at the finish of the year, and hopefully launching him into a productive year too.
Hey, Coach, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Mike, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I got you.
All right, guys, we got quarterback Mike Wright. If you have a question for Mike, use the raise hand function. Chris Lee, go ahead.
Hey, Mike, you had 2 runs of about 70 yards today. What did you see on those plays?
Oh, well, I think, the hats off to the O-line, creating the hole. And I think, whenever you have quarterback runs over 20 yards, that means somebody skillfully blocked, So, hats off to the receivers and the running backs too. I think, they don't get enough credit, when it comes down to blocking downfield. But I think whenever you have those big runs, just big runs in general, somebody skillfully blocked. But O-line, I think O-line played a great game, especially in the run game. The holes are big. It's just they create the holes. My job is just to run through them when it's a run play.
Aria?
Yeah, so Mike, the running game in general, had a lot of success today. What do you think kind of led to that? And was that kind of your game plan going into to lean heavily on the run?
Yeah, well, we just wanted to establish the run game. At just looking through film and just in all throughout practice, that was one of the emphasis we wanted to focus on. And so, like I said, just hats off to the O-line and hats off to Patrick Smith and Jay Ziegler. You got 2 true freshmen right there, taking on a role, and so, hats off to them. I'm proud of those 2 guys right there. And they ran their butt off. They got some dirty yards here and there. And, I'm just proud of those guys. I'm just proud of the way we came out here and just battled today.
Do you have any more questions for Mike? All right, Mike. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Anthony, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, if we have any questions for linebacker Anthony Orji, raise your hand. Robbie, go ahead.
Hi, Anthony. Their running back ran for over 250 yards. So what challenges were they presenting in the run game, and what could you guys have done better against them?
We just gotta play down, hit our fits. We just gotta be dialed in on the details so we can mitigate the yards and reach our tackle. So after contact, we gotta run our feet so there's no yards after contact.
Chris?
Yeah, I know you guys scouted him. He's had these kind of games against other people, but what was it that went into containing or not containing him today? Was there anything that you didn't expect that he showed you today?
Can you repeat that? I couldn't.
Yeah, I guess to condense the question, was there anything that you didn't expect with Beatty? I mean, you know what you're getting coming in with him. He carries the ball for them a lot. Was it just a case that you knew what was coming and you just couldn't stop it today?
We just gotta execute. We gotta focus on the details. We just gotta make our plays when they come to us.
Robbie?
Anthony, on the defensive delay of game and also the offsides early in the drive, like on third down, what were you trying to do there? And did you get like an explanation for what the second penalty was for?
For us, we just gotta focus on the details. Like I've been saying, like we gotta trust our preset process and be able to. We show we have the ability to get off the field. We just gotta be able to execute and be able to get off the field and dial in so we don't get those type of penalties.